Hi, hello. This is Mike J. Dublin Sky. I'm going to be doing a VR orientation by reading out loud from an school book on virtual reality healthcare, followed by putting on the PlayStation VR 1 headset and making some comments and providing some instruction about what kind of experience I'm having. So, virtual reality healthcare. This is an elementary school book from the Chicago Public Library, and that's what it looks like a $166 VR headset. My first VR headset was from 2017. It was the Microsoft Alcatel. For $200, I got a Microsoft Alcatel cell phone with a pretty elaborate headset, and it didn't work for very long, only a couple of months, and then I didn't pursue it after that. The reason why that's slightly important is because the PlayStation VR 1 came out also around that time in 2000, late 2016, 2017. It has since gone on to sell at least 5 million units, while Microsoft left the American market with its cell phones. And how does VR work? Virtual reality transports users to virtual environments. It uses 3D models with lighting, shading, and textures. This tricks the brain into thinking it's in a physical space. Objects in VR environments can be viewed at any angle. People can walk through buildings. They can interact with objects. It feels like the user is inside a virtual world. To enter VR, users put on a headset. It has a screen in front of each eye. The headset blocks out the view of the real world. Only the virtual world can be seen. The headset is connected to either a smartphone or a computer. These devices create the 3D world that appears inside the headset. Few VR options don't use headsets. Instead, they use huge displays that surround the users, but these are uncommon due to the size and cost. This is a 2022 copyright book intended for children, elementary school children. And book like this could be found in the children's section of the Chicago Public Library or at a school library. Within the headset are lenses. These lenses help the user's eye focus on the screens, which are very close to the head. The lenses can be adjusted so the user's eyes are centered in the lenses. This makes the picture as clear as possible. 360-degree video. Sometimes people film in 360 degrees. This means they film a video using multiple cameras. Together, the cameras capture everything around a central point. These videos can be watched with VR headsets. The user can turn to see different angles of the film, but the user cannot interact with the surroundings as they can in virtual reality. Handheld controllers make it possible for users to interact with the things they see in VR. Some headsets use a smartphone mounted inside. The smartphone serves as a screen. It is also the computer generating the virtual world. Smartphones have motion sensors inside them. These headsets use the phone sensors to detect head movement. The phone then turns into this movement in the virtual world. Headsets that are connected to computers work differently. They have built-in sensors that track head movement. Handheld controllers detect hand motions. They let users interact with the virtual world. The controllers have sensors in them. This allows hand movements to appear on an avatar. The controllers also have buttons, just like traditional gaming controllers. Some controllers can also sense finger movements. These controllers may have a bar that the user can grip. Sensors on the bar can tell which fingers are touching it. A user may be able to virtually high-five a character in a game. He may be able to make a fist or point with one finger. Some VR programs simply use regular game controllers. Controllers that sense hand motions can be very immersive. Michael Buchwald helped develop hand controllers for VR. He explained the big difference that these kind of controllers make. He said, reaching into a computer, grabbing an object, and having it move exactly as if you touched it, there's something magical and powerful about that. One special hand controller is a glove. It fits over the hand like a normal glove, but it has a lot of sensors. They can detect the movement of each finger. The VR gloves can be very precise. Together, the headset and controllers let users explore and interact with the virtual world. Other senses. Besides vision, the sense of touch and hearing are important in VR. Most controllers have only a simple form of touch feedback for a user. Like many normal game controllers, they use vibration. The controller may vibrate when the avatar hand hits something. A few specialized controllers have pressure responses. It can be used when surgery. Some surgeries are done using robots. Robots can be more precise than the human hand. A surgeon uses a controller to guide the robot. VR programs may teach surgeons to do this kind of surgery. The controller is similar to ones used to control the real robots. Surgeon guides the virtual robot to make a cut. When the virtual knife hits the skin, the controller becomes harder to move in that direction. This gives a sense of interacting with a real patient. Sound can be important for virtual reality too. Quality headphones help make the experience more real. Just as computer graphics can look 3D, sound can seem like it's coming from a specific location in space. The brain can tell where a sound comes from based on when it reaches each ear. Sound from VR games may come through each speaker at a slightly different time. This simulates how sound works in the real world. Augmented reality, virtual reality, and augmented reality, AR, are sometimes discussed together. In VR, everything the user experiences is virtual. In AR, a virtual world is combined with the real world. The game Pokemon Go is an example of AR. Players use their phones to find the location of creatures called Pokemon in the real world. When they find their locations, they hold up their phones. The camera shows the real world in front of them. The game adds a computer-generated image of a Pokemon in that setting. People can purchase VR games through app stores. The game downloads onto a phone or computer, then a person can experience the VR world. Not everyone enjoys VR. Motion sickness can be an issue. In 2019, between 40 and 70% of VR users experienced motion sickness. The percentage depended on the device used. Scientists do not know for sure what causes it. Many believe it's because the visuals don't quite match up with the user's body movements. Another theory is that the lenses don't perfectly fit everyone's eyes. Women tend to have more trouble with motion sickness in VR than men. Their eyes are also usually closer together than men's eyes. The lenses in a headset tend to fit men better than a woman. More research is needed to understand why motion sickness happens. Developers continue working to improve the technology. VR designers are working to overcome the problem of motion sickness. I don't know. I didn't know that 40 to 70% of people had motion sickness. Does that mean that they get slightly disoriented when they put on a VR headset and are standing? Well, I might follow up on that on TNF Online or Medline to see if that claim is substantiated or is sabotaging VR, because that seems like a pretty huge percentage of people. I wonder where they're getting their information. Does it say? No, it doesn't. So that's the first time I heard that. I don't believe that that's true. So that was Virtual Reality in Healthcare by Carrie Dinmont. Elementary section 2022, under the letter R, 855.3.D56 at the Chicago Public Library, specifically the Seltzer Regional Branch. Okay, I'm going to put on PlayStation VR 1 headset, and I'm going to be playing a game. Don't mind me if I meditate while this is going on. I'm trying to switch to pure formal recitation and pure formal meditation. Mm. I'm using in this case, I'm using a PlayStation 4 controller because this is a 2D image in a VR headset. It's a stunning image, actually. So I'm kind of working with the left stick and the R2 button a lot. And I should have my finger on the L2 button because that's the brake. So I'm kind of just working with two to three um, left stick, right, R2 and L2, and that's it. I just worked with the O, that's the fourth button I pressed. Now, what differentiates the PlayStation VR 1 from other VR headsets like Meta Quest 2, Pico 4, and HTC Vive Flow is that you can watch a Blu-ray movie and play video games while wearing the VR headset. You can also watch the Max, Hulu, Amazon Prime, and Pluto TV, but that would be possible through Web TV on the Meta Quest 2 and Pico 4. What you couldn't do with the HTC Vive Flow, Pico 4, and Meta Quest 2 is watch a Blu-ray movie um, necessarily, it being a Blu-ray disc, or play video games at this time, which are not virtual reality games. Uh, to a large extent, that's true. If it's an exception for you, because your browser somehow lets you play video games through Xbox. Mine browsers don't allow me to do that on Meta Quest 2, HTC Vive Flow, or Pico 4. So I think what differentiates PlayStation VR 1 and 2 is that you can watch a Blu-ray disc and play video games. And it's easier to watch a show on the Max or Amazon Prime or Hulu or Pluto TV using PlayStation VR 1 and 2. Video games, Blu-ray discs, and movies are easier to watch. Um, and so that's why PlayStation VR 2 is a major contender in 2023 with a new VR 2 headset. It's still, I saw it just down the street from me actually, but it would cost $600 to walk out the door with it. I am interested because I like this effect very much. And I really want to get back to watching um, TV shows, movies. Um, I may be taking a multicultural approach, so that there's uh, more representation of Mexican, African American, Indian, Asian American, and Middle Eastern people. But I don't think their representation is going to be as good as the white community gets from cinema in American cinema. So they're probably going to get made fun of more and not look as good and have weaker stories, unfortunately. But that way, there is a nice multicultural blend. And I want to achieve that. It might take the PlayStation VR 2 to get back to watching TV like normal people do. So that's like my final goal, is to be able to watch some TV. Mm. Ooh. So that's called Lego 2K Drive, and I have to. I liked it. I'm gonna switch over to the Bangers tour on Blu-ray disc. Thank you, Miley Cyrus, for performing for me right now. I appreciate it. She's doing an adaptation of a Beatles song right now while wearing like a sparkly showtime full body suit and a pair of high heels. She's really sparkling. And she has a pretty big band supporting her, working as professional. I think she has like a human, a normal guy in the background. I'm so lucky to be able to sit here and play a video game and read a children's book and watch Miley Cyrus and the Bangers tour. I'm so grateful to be able to sit here and get entertained. Well, I did in fact read an elementary school nonfiction book and play a Lego based card game. And now I'm watching Miley Cyrus wearing a tracksuit with sparkles on high heels. So I feel kind of mm, lucky to be able to see this image. To be able to sit here and watch a good Miley Cyrus, play a video game, learn about something. I didn't like that bit of information about motion sickness. That's going to get on my nerves because I kind of got into the business. I hired an SEO marketing firm to get me listed on the internet, and then I made some lawn signs to promote job apps VR, and now I'm going to get become a member of the RAR Association so I can promote VR break to corporate clients. So I'm kind of annoyed about the 40 to 70% data. They shouldn't do it if it's not true. On what basis is that true? Do they do enough research to be able to make a statement like that? I also don't like that they were using $100 headsets. I mean, if you use $100 headset, maybe you would get motion sickness. Maybe you should work with professional grade headsets recommended by Wikipedia instead of showing off a bunch of $100 generic headsets and then bringing up 40 to 70% of the people had motion sickness. That's why I don't like stuff like the cell phone concept or cardboard or these generic headsets. I mean, when you mention something like 40 to 70% of people have motion sickness, and all you have is pictures of generic headsets while you're bringing up um, using a cell phone for a headset, and you wonder why there are people who have motion sickness. You better pay top dollar for a recommended VR headset. That's what I think. I mean, if it's true that there are 40 to 70% of users have motion sickness, then That rules out cardboard VR for corporate events and cell phones that they're used for VR. And you have to then go for the good quality headsets that are mentioned on Wikipedia in the list of your headsets. You don't want to take, okay, if they're going to say that 40 to 7%, you don't want to take a risk with your health on a generic brand or cardboard or a cell phone based product if you're going to be at risk of motion sickness. That's over then. I actually tossed out my cardboard. I had Google Cardboard. I tossed it out. I got rid of the Alcatel headset. Literally threw it away. I had it. I had a bunch of cardboards. No, because if 40 to 70% of motion sickness, you got to get rid of all that cheap stuff. You got to buy the stuff that has a good reputation. Okay, here's what I'm going to tell you. VR market is actually full of problems. There's problems all over the place. A lot of stuff that you have to be careful about to get to the good stuff. But sometimes it's easy. You just buy a Meta Quest 2. You should have good experience with that, for $300. Don't go for these generic headsets with the cell phones or the cardboard units. It's not worth it if that's what chance if it's that high of a percentage of a chance of getting sick. Even though that might just mean that you feel queasy for a little bit, why why don't you just pay top dollar for a professional grade VR headset so that you don't get, and if you need to find out if you're compatible, or then you have to hire someone who can give you a chance to check it out first. Yeah, I didn't like that. I would say, bypass the cheap stuff and go for professional grade equipment on the basis of that. But don't go for a cheap thrill if you're going to get motion sickness. I got rid of my own. I had two smartphone based VR headsets with Microsoft Alcatel. I had three generic cardboards and a Google cardboard. I threw them away. I literally threw them away because I would rather work with professional grade equipment. Yes, I did. I literally threw them away. And I didn't even follow up with the 2017 Alcatel for many years. Um, I took a break from the industry. To wear another sparkly shirt, red and white. Oh, it really sparkly. Yeah. I actually had a lot of eye irritation, including today with the PlayStation VR one. That's why I'm considering paying 110 for a professional service from PlayStation. I don't really want to risk my eyes if I'm enjoying this experience. I'm sure by now they know how to solve any solvable problems. I mean, I had so much eye irritation with this headset that I'm wearing that I contacted PlayStation of America because they called me a couple times and they offered to service this VR headset for 110. I tried to buy the service and it was denied the transaction on while wearing a Meta Quest 2 and with an Android cell phone and an Amazon Fire tablet. The order form failed. But I don't I don't think you should accept eye irritation if the issue can somehow be resolved by the professionals. Um, so yes, I did in fact have eye irritations while wearing a VR1 headset, including today. And I have an opportunity to have the VR headset serviced by PlayStation for $110 after calling PlayStation of America. Because I don't think it's you should be experiencing eye irritation. What did I do? I did 3 eye drops, topical agents around the eyes, including a yerba mate gel and a beauty eye gel, product eye gel. And I took an eye multivitamin eye for eyes, um, and an energy drink as well. And all of that was necessary because my eyes also get tired when I play video games. When I play video games, my eyes get tired, so I needed an energy drink. So to respond to the PlayStation VR eye related eye irritation, I took a multivitamin for eyes, 3 eye drops, and 2 topical agents around the eyes. And then for the eye tiredness associated with video games, I drank 2, 3, 4, 5 cups of energy drinks. So I have 2 symptoms: eye tiredness when playing video games and eye irritation when playing virtual when wearing the VR headset. 3 eye drops, 2 topical agents, and a multivitamin did resolve the issue. So I noticed eye tiredness when playing video games. I'm working with energy drinks and eye irritation when wearing the PlayStation VR1 headset. And I usually just do an eye drop for it, like my professional eye doctor recommended. 40 to 70%. I was reading this other book. It also brought up a bunch of rare things that could happen. And believe it or not, I wouldn't be surprised if they could happen. I'm actually reading. I'm doing a VR game, and it says this track may cause some users to experience motion sickness. The headset and pilot assist settings have been enabled by default. They can be disabled in the game options menu. So there must be a motion sickness problem. I just didn't think it would be that huge. It's pretty awesome when I'm experiencing it. So I've already done a video game, and I actually want to write about this. And I might have to grab a pen and write down what I read, what game I played, what virtual reality experience, how I listened to. I'll have to take a break. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. Okay, I'm done over here. Mm. That was called Wipe Out. Pretty impressive. Bangers too on Blu-ray. Lego 2K Drive. Really nice video game experience. I read from a book, elementary school book. So thank you very much for listening to YouTube Librarian, like J. Davenska. Do you like the light effect? How that looks? That looks really cool. I thought it was so cool. I bought another PlayStation for it. Strong lighting. And look at the controller. You see this blue light special is what the joke is. And maybe that's why, I bought this VR headset for $150. I probably didn't pay enough for it. But you also have to have, but I've since then bought accessories for $80. I bought, it's called a grip. Get a grip, I don't know, like a grip controller, and it looks like a gun. It's supposed to be used for gun games. And the motion controllers were $100 retail, and the camera was like $40. So the initial 150 plus 80, 230 plus 100, 330 plus a camera, 40, that's 370 plus games. So, they got to the money. PlayStation for the VR experience. And now there's $110 possible repair. Why? Well, I would like it if they cleaned it, repaired it, serviced. But thanks.